Yo, what is going on, guys? I am J. Cartere. This is the J. Cartere podcast. And first up, we're going to have a word from our lovely sponsor. This episode of the J. Cartere Show podcast is sponsored by me at growonyoutube.com. If you want to grow your YouTube gaming channel, then growonyoutube.com is the place to go. I just released my new book, A Gamer's Guide to Greatness, which will show you how to grow your YouTube gaming channel and turn it into a business. You can get that at growonyoutube.com/guide. If you want to grow your YouTube gaming channel and turn it into your career, make a full-time living, become a full-time YouTube gamer, actually build a business around it, then this book is for you. If you just want to live off AdSense and become a big YouTuber and be broke, then this book is not for you. It's not for anyone who wants overnight success or anything like that. But go to growonyoutube.com/guide if you think this will be helpful for you. You can see the reviews of happy customers who have purchased the book already and are now using the strategies in there to grow their own YouTube gaming channels. Now, I basically created the book that I wish I would have had when I first started out on YouTube. I've spent a variety of years. I think I started in around 2011 and I did a lot of experiments, a lot of research, a lot of trial and error in order to find out what actually works. So I've distilled all of that and put it into this book, this guide, so you guys can know what works and grow your YouTube gaming channel. I've grown my YouTube gaming channel to over 24,000 subscribers. When this comes out, it'll probably be even more than that. I don't know. It's continually growing. It's always growing and it's going to continue growing because I know what works. I know what works now and I've put that in this book to show you what works. And if you want that, go to growonyoutube.com/guide. Now let's get into the episode. So that's the pitch for that. Let's get into the podcast. Now, this podcast is going to be about microtransactions, DLC, and loot boxes. And this is I'm not sure if it's a controversial topic, but there are strong opinions on either side. Now, I've wanted to do this podcast episode for a very long time. I was meant to do it like a week ago or something, but today while I was making breakfast, cooking pancakes and that, trying to listen to Migos Culture 2, I got an email notification from YouTube saying that Jim Sterling just uploaded a video talking about the fact that Rainbow Six Siege has now raised their price and they are adding loot boxes. So that inspired me to come and talk about this because Jim Sterling himself is a very, very vocal. He has a very vocal opinion against microtransactions and loot boxes and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, I respect that. I respect that he has his opinions. He has what he believes in and whatnot. And I am subscribed to him. I am a watcher of the channel. I don't watch every video because sometimes it just seems like it's just a lot of negativity and moaning where it doesn't need to be done. But, you know, I respect what he does and I wish him all the best. But I disagree on the microtransaction front. He believes that, you know, games shouldn't have microtransactions. It's terrible, all that sort of stuff. Let's first talk about, you know, the differences between DLC, microtransactions, and loot boxes. So first of all, let's start off with DLC. Now, DLC stands for downloadable content. And the way DLC is supposed to work is you buy a game, you know, the game's good, you enjoy it, and then the publisher or creator of the game or developers, they create some additional content to sell you after the fact. So it's like add-on content. Maybe it's a new outfit or something like that, something that changes the original game. In some instances, it's a whole new map and it's more missions and just more content around the base game, basically. And a game that did that pretty well is The Witcher 3. They did DLC, but they called them expansion packs. Now, the way they did their expansion packs is they gave you a whole new set of missions, a whole new set of mechanics, and they were really expansion packs. They expanded the game more than it already was, and they also gave away free DLC before that, which was like, you know, outfits and little missions and different things like that. So that's a good way to do it. Like, you give away free little things and then you charge for a big, you know, expansion. And what other games? Well, pretty much most games do DLC these days. Personally, I do not buy DLC or, you know, microtransactions or loot boxes or anything like that. I just don't waste my money on that sort of shit. Like, I don't feel like it's necessary. If I buy a game, I want to get that game. Unless it's a very, very good game, I get so much value out of it, and then I want to get more value and they release a nice expansion pack. Like, I think the first DLC that I ever bought, so I have bought DLC in the past. I bought it like, I don't know, less than 5 times, I believe. The first piece of DLC I bought was for Skyrim, and I bought the Dawn Guard DLC because I wanted to be a vampire in Skyrim. I like vampires and shit, and I was interested in having that in the game, and I played that. I don't even think I finished the storyline or anything like that, to be honest, but that's something I bought. And then I think the next piece of DLC I bought was The Witcher 3, the expansion packs. So I'm not a big DLC buyer, but if you buy DLC, generally, you know, do what you want in it. And the premise behind it is that it's more in addition to the game. But the bad thing that happens around DLC is sometimes, and not all the time, developers will take out content from the game and use that as DLC. So they'll sell you like a half-finished game, or they'll sell you a game that's okay but makes more sense with the DLC, and that is not good. That is not good. The game should be full. You should be able to play and have a satisfying experience, and then DLC should be like an addition to that. So I disagree with, you know, taking parts out of the game in order to sell people later, but I do understand the business practices behind that, which we'll get into later. But well, let's talk about the business practices behind that right about now. See, the way selling a game works is generally people buy the game and then that's the end of the transaction. Now, some people will buy the DLC, they'll buy, you know, microtransactions to make the game faster, they'll buy loot boxes and shit like that. But the way games used to be sold is you sell the game, that's the end of that. You know, you get the money from that, you try and make a new game. Selling the DLC is like you're trying to make more money from the one thing that you made. It's kind of like plugins. Like if you make I don't know, like if you make Logic or something and then you start selling plugins for Logic, or I don't know if Apple actually does that, but that sort of thing, you add new features to it, innit? So if you're taking it out and you're making the game mediocre in order to push people to buy DLC, then essentially you do double dip. You do make more money than you would have got before, and maybe you could sell them the Legendary Edition front up so that they can pay £80 for the game instead of the £45 that it usually is. And yeah, you can just milk more money out of it. It's not good. It's not good at all. But, you know, them's the breaks. Now, microtransactions, let's talk about those. Now, microtransactions are in a bunch of games these days. And generally, the way I see microtransactions being implemented in games is to make the game less grindy and to get things quicker. And I think microtransactions originated in free-to-play mobile games. The way those games make money is, you know, you get the game for free and then they make it a little bit interesting, so it's interesting enough for you to play a little bit. And the hope is that, you know, a certain small population of people with addictive personalities will buy the game. they'll get into it and then they'll really get into it. They'll get into it so much that they'll be buying the gems and all that sort of shit to make things go faster so that they can play the game more and, you know, level up and become super powerful in this game world that means nothing in real life, but they're spending real life money. And that is basically the way those games generally work. The games generally work and are supported by people with addictive tendencies who are generally the whales who spend a lot of money on the game. And I think the majority of people, or a lot of people, just don't pay for microtransactions or shit like that. But they try and make the game grindy enough that the microtransactions make it a smoother, faster experience and you have more fun with that. So that's how they push you and funnel you towards that. Now, AAA games and games that are paid have been using the same kind of thing. I think the last one that I remember that was kind of mad like that, I didn't actually play it, but it was Shadow of War, and it was reportedly that, you know, the game gets really, really grindy after a certain point, and it's kind of trying to push you towards purchasing things. And I don't like that. I don't like if you implement microtransactions in your game and you make the game more grindy in order to push people to microtransactions. That is bad. That is bad for me because I don't want to pay no more money for a game that I fucking bought in the first place. But if the game is already reasonably speeded, like it's got good pacing and whatnot, and you maybe give people an opportunity to buy clothing or extra guns or, you know, that sort of stuff, then fair enough, you know, do that. I don't give a shit because I'm not going to be buying that shit. But if you're making the game purposefully, making it more grindy, like Grand Theft Auto Online, that is a fucking grindy game. You play that, yeah, you try and make 1 million. It is long, especially with all the loading screens and stuff if you want to do a heist or something. So they're really trying to funnel you to buy the shark cards and stuff so that you can get the money quickly. And then when they're releasing the free DLC with the GTA Online, they're making those things that you can buy in game so expensive, yeah, that it will take you like weeks real life weeks to grind enough money to actually, like, in game, grind enough game money to purchase it. So, you know, some people make the trade-off, like, you know what, I don't really want to spend weeks of my life playing this game to get this, but I want to purchase this, so I might just buy it. And it's that kind of back and forth. Honestly, I don't play games that are super grindy like that. I stay away from them. I totally dislike them because I don't have time like that. But that's generally what microtransactions are doing over there. And then there's loot boxes, which are basically microtransactions, but more like gambling, because with loot boxes, they've added a random element to it. So you can pay for something, like you pay the money to purchase some loot boxes. Let's say you're playing Overwatch, yeah? And you want a new costume for what character you're playing. Let's say you're playing Soldier 76 or something. I haven't played Overwatch in a while, so I don't know who's popping right about now. But let's say you're playing Soldier 76. There's a new outfit out for him. Blizzard has said, yo, this outfit's super sick, look at it, you've seen it, you're like, yeah, damn, really want that. Now you buy 15 loot boxes, because you can't just buy the outfit, you have to get the outfit in a loot box. You have to randomly, luckily get the outfit. So you need to then buy something without the guarantee of that you're gonna get what you wanted to pay for, that you wanted, and then you open those loot boxes. Let's say you get bullshit in the first like 10. You get a costume in the 11th that isn't the one you want, and the last 4 you get another bullshit, and you're like, well, like, I didn't get what I wanted, let me spend some more. And essentially it is gambling. It is gambling, but it's gambling without you being able to win any money. So it's like just flinging your money at someone and it's like going into a shop. Like, you go into a sweet shop, you want to buy a Bueno because Buenos are nice. Yeah, if you don't like Buenos, then I don't know what going for you. Or you want to buy a Bueno and a Bounty because Bounties are nice as well, but you'd rather the Bueno. And now you're getting in there, you're like, yo, boss man, here's £1. Let me grab the Bueno. And he gives you a box, yeah? a cardboard box, and you're like, what's this? And he's like, you know what, we're selling loot boxes now. It might be a Bueno, it might be a Mars bar. And you're like, really? I'm not out here trying to buy a Mars bar. I don't like Mars. I want the Bueno. And it's like, you know what, tough shit. Like, this is how it is. This is how it is now. So you buy the thing, you open it up. It's not even a Mars bar. It's like one of those small Mars things in the celebrations. You know, them small little mini Mars bars, yeah? So you got that, you paid £1, and now you're thinking, oh my God, this is BS. But now you've already spent £1 and you haven't got what you want. So now it's like, do you double down so that you can actually get what you want, or do you just walk away at the loss? And that's the part that they get you to double down, and they're like, wow, well, I spent all this money, I still haven't got what I want, maybe I'll spend a little bit more. And it's insidious, man. It's insidious, but it's business at the end of the day. People need to be held personally responsible for the shit that they do. Personally, if I bought a loot box and I didn't get what I wanted, you know what? Let me not even say that, because I don't know, because I don't buy loot boxes. That's where I get off. I don't buy fucking loot boxes. I don't spend money on microtransactions. So I ain't got to worry about fucking spending all my money on that sort of shit. But the people that do, they need to be held personally accountable to, you know, have some self-control and not do this sort of shit. But then again, you know, the companies, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing at the end of the day. And if they want to be ethical about it, then they tone it down. But they're out here to make money. And if you're looking at these companies thinking that they're doing anything but that, then you're being highly naive. Obviously, some of them want to make great games and that sort of shit. But at the end of the day, they want to hit that bottom line and they want to make profit. So don't get caught up in spending all your money, trying to get a costume and all that sort of shit. So loot boxes are a very big new thing in the games industry, it seems. Honestly, I thought with the controversy. No, that doesn't sound right. With the controversy last year with Star Wars Battlefield. Is it Star Wars Battlefield? I don't even know anymore. Because Battlefield 4 and Star Wars Battlefront. There we go. Star Wars Battlefront 2 had loot boxes that were basically gave you a competitive edge if you won certain things. Like, you could get loot boxes and then win certain cards at the loot boxes, which will give you a competitive edge. And in an online multiplayer game, that is hell for balance. You don't really want that for balance, because then people who aren't spending money are going to get rolled over generally by people who are spending money, because they're going to have an advantage. And really, in an online multiplayer game, the goal is to let people win from their skill. Otherwise, you don't really have a long-term multiplayer game. It's just going to die. But if they're looking to put out Star Wars Battlefront, not Battlefront, is it Battlefront? Yes. If they're looking to put out Star Wars Battlefront 3 next year to capitalize on the next Star Wars movie, then they don't really give a shit about, you know, it working 2 years from now. They want a bunch of people to get in, a bunch of people to spend money, and then a bunch of people to fuck off. Like, they don't really give a shit about that. So that's the business there. But I thought that, you know, with all the controversy surrounding it and people coming out and saying, you know, this is terrible, we're not buying the game, I thought that might have a damper on the loot boxes thing. But I think Star Wars Battlefront still made a lot of money, so it's not like it really hurt anyone. EA did step back and say, you know what, we're going to tone things down a little bit. So I think maybe in the future things will be toned down. But I think loot boxes, microtransactions and DLC is not going away whatsoever. So if you don't like buying a full priced game and then spending more money on that game, don't spend more money on that game. That is what I'm saying to you guys. Like, and if you think that a bit of the game has been taken out before you know, in order to sell you DLC, then don't buy that game unless you already bought it and then, you know, then you realize, okay, this wasn't a great game or whatever. Should have watched a couple more reviews. Unless you watched 100 reviews and then that happened to you, then fair enough, you can start moaning about it. Honestly, you can complain any time of the day, but I try to look for opportunities and solutions rather than complaints, because you can complain all day. It really never really leads to much unless, you know, enough people complain, and then really, like, what is complaining going to do? At the end of the day, it doesn't really do a lot in my personal opinion. But we're going to talk about the business of selling a game. Because the way games used to be sold is, as I said before, you sold the game, someone paid for that game, and then that was the end of your sales. That was the end of your point of contact with that customer. They're going to buy the game, then they're going to sell it to, you know, one of them shops that let you buy pre-owned games and shit, and then someone else makes money off that game. So even though like 10 people have played your game, you've only made the money once. Now that is not a great business model. That's just the way things used to be. And now businesses and publishers and developers and all that sort of shit are trying to, like, everyone's trying to move more towards subscriptions based models. Like you can see that with Adobe, they move towards subscription based models with their software. Like subscription based models is the future. Go and try and buy something online, like some sort of project, some sort of plugin or software, or I don't know, try and buy something online, and if the people who are running that business are clued in, you will see some sort of subscription model, like upsell or something. They'll be like, hey, you want to buy this? Why not become a member and get all this shit and pay monthly or pay yearly? Like they want to be in your bank account constantly, because then they know they've got a certain amount of income coming in next month or for the next year. It's just better for business purposes and better for revenue, you know, knowing how much revenue you're going to have and that sort of stuff. But they're really looking at games as a service. That seems to be a big thing that's coming in the gaming industry, and they're trying to diversify, trying to get more revenue streams from the game other than just selling the game and then that being the end. And as you can see with certain games like GTA Online, which released in 2013 and is still going and making Rockstar and 2K money today, you can see that games as a service is a very real thing. They have kept that game alive through the, you know, pushing people towards buying in-game money so that they can live a life of luxury online. That is what they've done. That's how they've made their money. They've made their money by people who are generally not living a life of, or maybe some of them are, but I think most people are buying into the fantasy of being able to be rich, because you can spend £80 and be rich in GTA Online. But, you know, £80 isn't really going to get you rich in real life unless, you know, you put a lot of long-term thinking behind it and strategy and work towards it. But in GTA Online, you can just pay £80 and be rich online and show all your friends how rich you are and all that sort of shit, and buy the best car and all that sort of stuff. So it's like trading real life money for a fantasy life. And, you know, if people want to pay for that fantasy, then that's their choice. That's their choice. I'm not here saying, you know, shame on you. You should be using that money for better reasons or whatever, or using it to put towards something better. Spend your money how the fuck you want to spend it. If you want to be rich in GTA Online, that is your prerogative. You be rich in GTA Online. But games as a service is a big thing. Rainbow Six Siege, which I believe released in 2015, and obviously sparked me recording this podcast today, specifically not the podcast topic, because I thought about that like weeks ago. But Rainbow Six Siege, I think it released in like 2015. They've been constantly updating it, adding new characters and adding new maps and stuff to keep people in there. And I think they've tried to make the focus on skill-based combat. So like when you buy stuff in your microtransactions and stuff, you basically get a lot of cosmetics, which is what is the good way to do loot boxes and microtransactions. You do it in cosmetics so that people who want to buy it can buy it, so you can make extra money, you can have your extra revenue streams, but people that don't want to buy it aren't at a disadvantage. But also, it, you know, if you have like a really, really crappy costume and you see someone with like this ultra gold and purple costume, I don't know if that's a great color combination, but let's say it's gold and purple because those seem like regal colors. They seem very luxurious. If you see someone in this gold and purple costume and when he's shooting you, there's diamonds coming out of his gun, and every time you die, like there's some glitzy, I don't know, post death film clip or something, and it's like you got shot by this guy, then you might be like, you know what, I kind of want that. But that is your choice. That's your choice to be pulled in by the marketing and by the flashiness and all that sort of shit. But if it doesn't give you an unfair advantage, then it's perfectly fine because it's a skill-based game, and skill-based games will survive for the long haul as long as they're good, because people won't be like, I can't get better at this game without spending a bunch of money. Although there is a learning curve to Rainbow Six, but I think that's one of the places where it succeeds, because I personally liked that learning curve and liked the fact that it was more difficult and more, you had to really think, and it was a thinking man's shooter basically. So yeah, I think a lot more companies are going to be moving towards trying to make a game that they can support for years, because it's better financially, because you make the game once and then you just update it instead of making a whole new game or making a whole new sequel and doing all that sort of shit. And you can just continually promote the same one game. Like, I think, what's another game that's going on today? I'm trying to think of the name. I think it's Warframe or something. They're still pushing updates and shit like that. A lot of games are doing this, and it's generally done within like the MMO space, because then you have the subscription service there and all that sort of stuff. So you might see subscription services come back into games, although I fucking hate that sort of shit. I just want to buy the game. Let me buy the game and play it whenever I want. Don't make me subscribe to some shit. I would rather them load the game with microtransactions and give people the opportunity to buy loads of shit so they have that revenue coming in, than them fling on a subscription-based model to the games. Like, that's what I'm hoping not to see. I don't want to see a subscription-based model. But it's all about consistent income versus that one-time purchase. Consistent income is better. It's just objectively better. If you sell a game to someone and they then buy a costume and they then buy 20 loot boxes to get the next part of that costume, and they then continue playing that game for like 2 years and continue buying stuff from that game instead of buying other games, then, that is better business. That's just better business for you. That's better income. That's just better for the company. Is it better for the consumers? I mean, it depends. It really depends. As I said before, if they're taking things out of the game to sell to you as DLC, that's bad. If they're making the game more grindy to try and push you to spend money, then that's bad. But if they're trying to build a game that can last for a very long time, and they're doing it right, they're giving people options to purchase things, but they're not forcing you to do it, then that's pretty cool. Like, honestly, I think Rainbow Six Siege is too grindy, and they raised the price, but that's not too bad, because it was like, I don't know, it was like £17 when I got it, and it is a game that came out in 2015. I'm not 100% sure what the price is now, but they've added more content to it, so it's more valuable, and they can raise the price. That's perfectly fine. But it is too grindy to unlock operators. Although you don't need to unlock those operators, it will just add another aspect to the game and whatnot. You can just play as one operator and get, basically the basic guns that you need in order to survive as that one operator. But you then have to play like 50 games in order to buy another one of the more expensive operators, or buy a couple of them. So it's like, it's a give and a take. It's a give and a take, man. It really is a give and a take. You gotta ask yourself, what do you want from these games? A big thing in the industry is sports games, though. Sports games are wild with DLC and microtransactions and basic loot box. They have been doing loot boxes from day. Ultimate Team in FIFA is loot boxes, fam. Those are loot boxes, because you don't know what you're gonna get. It's gambling without the prospect of actually making any money back, which is silly gambling to me. But that's what games have been doing for ages. EA's been doing that with FIFA and milking that for fucking forever. 2K's been doing that. 2K just got in a bit of hot water with their last offering, because that was too geared towards microtransactions and stuff. But it's been done. It's going to keep on being done. As long as people make money doing it, they're going to continue to do it. Unless consumers are like, you know what, I do not want to spend more money after I buy a game. I'm not going to do that. And people don't do it. Like, unless that happens, people are going to continue charging you for, DLC that should have been in the game, and charging you to buy loot boxes instead of buying what you actually want. because they want you to spend more money. Even if it looks like it's cheaper at first, like they might say, okay, you can buy what you want, but it's £5. But if you buy 10 loot boxes, it's £2.50. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to take the chance? Are you going to get the guarantee? You're going to take the chance? You're going to get the guarantee? I don't know. At that point, then I think that would be a better mechanism, because then you give people the choice. And it's not just loot boxes, which I think a lot of people are gearing their games towards, because it's like, why would you let people buy stuff when you can just make them like gamble for it and hope that they get stuff and continue spending the money? So yeah, it's wild. But I want to know you guys' thoughts on loot boxes, DLCs, microtransactions, all that sort of stuff. Leave it in the comment section below. Also, if you're listening to this on iTunes or Apple Podcast app, please leave a review, all that good stuff. And yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up now, because I feel like I'm rambling, I'm going on, I'm talking about this shit. And I really just wanted to get my opinions out there. I think, you know, some companies do it very, very terribly. Like, they're just doing it to make money. And some companies do it, you know, to support their game and whatnot. Like, I think giving people an option to pay money isn't inherently bad. It's when you try to funnel people to that option by making the core product worse. That's when it's bad, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's still business, and as long as it makes money, as long as the market will decide. So if you're sitting around moaning about it and you've bought a game that does that and you haven't asked for a refund, then you're part of the problem, B. You're part of the problem. But yeah, send me your questions and that sort of shit on Twitter, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. And if you're a gamer, get that Gamer's Guide to Greatness, B. Go on youtube.com/guide. Grab that. You can get a free chapter as well, all about SEO. That'll help you start building your channel, as it's really, really important. But in the next podcast, we'll be talking about the YouTube Partner Program. So if you're into YouTube and all that sort of stuff, stay tuned. Peace out. If you want to learn how I got over 23,000 subscribers and millions of views on my YouTube gaming channel, then you are in luck. Sign up to this free course right now. Link will be in the card, in the description, and in the pinned comment. Or go to growonyoutube.com/20k SEO course. In this course, you will learn the best way to write your video titles, tags, and descriptions to help you rank on the first page of YouTube. It's simple when you know what to do. I'll also show you a hack that will help you choose the right key phrases and help you create videos that can rank and get views no matter what game you play. Stop struggling to grow your YouTube gaming channel and start doing what works. Click on the link in the description or go to growonyoutube.com/20k SEO course. This course will not be up forever, so get in there as soon as possible. I hope to see you here soon, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey of turning your passion into your career.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long.